Was Jesus ignorant? Now, what kind of question is that? Today we're talking about the second coming of Jesus Christ. Supposedly, two recent events are signs of his coming. Now, one of them is not. The other one could be. Hi, this is Fred VK with the Blue Ridge Bible Talks. Welcome to my backyard. And today we're at the top of Little Stone Mountain in the DuPont State Forest. Now, what better place to talk about the second coming of Christ than on top of a mountain? Yes. Anyway, don't see him. I do expect him, but... Well, let's get back to those two signs. One of them is the eclipse that just occurred. That is not a sign of his coming. After all, it was, over a week ago, and we're still here. Total eclipses of the sun happen all the time, as do lunar eclipses, which are also known as a blood moon. No, I'm sorry. In themselves, these occurrences are natural and they are predictable. They are not signs of his coming. They are signs of God's providential care over nature and the mathematical precision of it. It's a wonder to behold. But the second coming? No. How about the other one? Well, the other one is the step up in attacks on Israel. Now Iran has joined in. They're not bothering to use any of their proxies. They've directly attacked Israel. Isn't that a sign of his coming? Isn't there supposed to be a war that sparks Armageddon? Well, yeah. So, depending on how things escalate, this could be it. But I don't know, because Israel has been under attack for a very, very long time. This could be it. It might not be it. It certainly doesn't have to be it. But one thing is certain. We do not know. Nobody knows when Jesus Christ is coming back. What we do know is that he is. Now, what about this rather loaded question, is Jesus ignorant? Well, I don't think he is, but he certainly was. Now, let's talk about this word ignorant first of all. If you think I'm saying Jesus was an ignoramus, no, of course not. He was not. Ignorant simply means you do not have specific knowledge about a specific thing. We are all ignorant. It's just on different subjects. Well, was Jesus ignorant of his coming? Well, yes, he was. He said this in Mark chapter 13, beginning in verse 11. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But concerning that day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Ooh, Jesus said he did not know. Well, wait a second. Haven't you, Fred, been telling us all this time that Jesus is God in the flesh? Well, as a matter of fact, I have been. But what I have not been telling you is that Jesus was not therefore human. He's fully God. He's fully man. But in his deity, he has limited himself to our humanity. Now, if you think about the attributes of God, what he's like, we can say things like he's all-powerful. Well, that's omnipotent. Or he's everywhere, all at once, which is omnipresent. And that he knows everything. He's omniscient. Well, when you look at Jesus, we don't have any problem realizing that he was not omnipotent. He had to take breaks. He had to sleep. He had to eat. He had moments of weakness. He got beaten to a pulp. He absolutely, physically, really died. Jesus was not omnipotent, nor was he omnipresent. He had to walk from place to place. He could not be in two places at one, let alone every place at once. Oh no, we don't have any problems with that. So why do we have a problem with Jesus not being omniscient? It's no problem. He had to learn things. He grew. He learned obedience from what he suffered, the writer to Hebrews tells us. He was surprised at times. He didn't know certain things. He certainly did not know the time of his coming at that point. Now, I believe now, in his resurrected, glorified place at God's right hand, yeah, I'll bet he knows now. I bet he knows everything. However, at that time, he didn't know. And he passed that on to all of the biblical writers. Everyone who brought up the fact of his coming also brought up the fact that nobody knows and nobody can know. Now, let's look at a couple of these. Here's Paul, 1 Corinthians. Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. Now notice what he said. In a moment, in a twinkling, the last trumpet, but didn't say when, because he doesn't know. Now you say, well, he didn't exactly say that there. Okay, fair enough. Let's try this one. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Now concerning the times and season, brothers, you do not need to have anything written to you. For you yourselves are fully aware that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. Do you know when a thief is coming? No. Do you know that a thief is coming? Well, when it comes to the thief, Jesus, yeah, we know the fact of it, but we don't know the timing of it. How about Peter? This is in 2 Peter chapter 3. The Lord is not slow to fulfill his promise, as some count slowness, but he is patient to you, not wishing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come like a thief, and then the heavens will pass away like a roar, and the heavenly bodies will be burned up and dissolved, and the earth and the works that are done in it will be exposed. When? He didn't say. He didn't know. Jesus didn't know. What makes us think that we know? That we can look at an eclipse, or look at a war, or look at any other thing, an earthquake, a false Christ, and say, that is it. He's coming soon. Well, in one regard, he is coming. And it is soon in the grand scheme. But when? Time, season, day, hour, nobody knows. Well, okay, well, thank you very much. We know that he's coming. We don't know when. Why in the world would you tell us this, Jesus? I'm glad you asked. Here's what Jesus said. After he said, I don't know, be on your guard, keep awake, for you do not know at what time he will come. It's like a man going on a journey, when he leaves home and puts his servants in charge, each with his work, and commands the doorkeeper to stay awake. Therefore, stay awake. For you do not know when the master of that house will come. You don't know if it's going to be this, that, or the other. Stay awake. Be alert. That's the key. Now, that is the very conclusion that Jesus draws over and over as you read through Matthew chapters 24 and 25. Over and over. Keep watch, stay awake, stay alert. In other words, be about your Christian business in a way that honors God. Every one of these verses that I read from these apostles saying that they don't know the time, they always follow up with why they're telling you this. Here's Paul. We're not going to sleep. We're going to be changed. Therefore, my beloved brothers, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. So stay at it. Do what you're supposed to do. Do what Jesus commands you to do. Be a solid, steadfast, immovable Christian. Why? He's coming back. You don't know when. And this is exactly what he says in 1 Thessalonians 5. While people are saying peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon them. But you are not in darkness, brothers, for that day to surprise you like a thief. For you are all children of light, children of the day. We are not of the night or of the darkness, so let us not sleep as others do, but let us keep awake and be sober. Yes, we know the thief is coming. We don't know when. So therefore there is a certain lifestyle we need to live. And finally, here's Peter in 2 Peter chapter 3. Since all these things are thus to be dissolved, what sort of people are you to be in lives of holiness and godliness, waiting for and hastening the coming of the day of God? Oh my. Let me just conclude with 3 things. Number 1, we know that he is coming. That is all throughout the New Testament, and I've only read a couple of them. Number 2, we do not know, and we cannot know when it is. No disciple of Jesus knew. Jesus himself in his earthly ministry did not know. What makes us think we can? So finally, the third thing is, here's why we are taught about the second coming, is because this world is going to end, and we don't want to be caught up with those who are going to face certain judgment. We want to be those who look up and receive the grace of Jesus Christ and the transformation that he brings when he renews everything in his good time.